Hello everyone, I'm finally back doing this homeschooling video and actually vlogging like I promised I was going to continue vlogging. But anyways, we are back. I'm here, I'm making the video. Anyway, so now this video is going to be about homeschooling and all about my homeschooling journey and why I am homeschooling. All right, so starting, what is homeschooling? For some people, they're like, what does that even mean? Homeschooling is just basically a system where your children get educated at home as opposed to going to a regular school or some sort of outside school. So basically homeschool, school in the house. So why am I homeschooling? I've actually always wanted to homeschool my children right before I even had any kids, before I even got married. So I kind of got introduced to homeschooling from, I think, what was that reality show, 19 Kids and Counting. I was a huge Dogger fan back in the day. So I really admired their system and how it kind of created a very close-knit family unit and how you can kind of guide your children through life and teach them and stuff like that and create your own curriculum, really. So I really admired that, and it was something I always wanted to do. So that's that's where all of that really started from. And so the main concrete reason why I'm at least that was back when I was dreaming about homeschooling by just watching other people homeschool. Like, so now as an adult and being able to make the actual choice of homeschooling, the reason why I chose to homeschool is because of three reasons. First, as a Christian, I really want my children to have a very strong Christian influence and background. We live in a world where there are so many varying Christian beliefs and views, and it was very important for me to really have my children have a very solid foundation in their faith. And it's you can still do that and send your children to school, yes, but it's harder because you're spending less time with them as opposed to spending all day with them. Yeah, so some people are like, all day, yes, all day with them. So you have enough time to, apart from just having devotions in the morning, you also have time to live life with them, where you can kind of show them the gospel as everyday life. Why you should not lie, why you should not hit your brother, why. So basically try to live life biblically with them as much as humanly possible. That's one. And two, apart from being able to teach your children more and create a Christian curriculum for your children to use as a basis to learn, there's also the fact of influences as well. So this is one of the criticisms people have for homeschooling. Oh, you're sheltering your children, blah 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 blah. I mean, my children are not homeschool children are actually not sheltered. They're actually exposed to a lot of different views and people and all that. So that one's a story for another day. But then in a lot of schools, they're very, like, my son actually went to school for 1 year. That was when I was pregnant with my second child, right? Till we went to regular school for 1 year. So I actually don't have a problem with regular schools like that, right? So he was in school for 1 year. But basically what I noticed was that he was picking up a lot of bad habits, a whole lot of bad habits. Today you come, he's throwing terrible tantrums, throwing himself on the floor, saying all kinds of things, and you can tell that he's telling that there's this kid that does that in class, and stuff like that. So you can see that he's picking up bad habits that we have to try to unlearn. So I really wanted him to have, them, not just him, because I'm also homeschooling my second child as well. So I really wanted them to have a very strong foundation of, good character, where as they grow up, they can kind of build on that, so that as they go out into the world, they already have that foundation solid, and they don't have to have this stage in life where they are struggling with, mommy says you should not do this, but then all my friends in school are doing it from a very young age, and they're spending more time in school than they are at home, to be fair. But then they come back from school, they're just exhausted, they're doing homework, they've gone to bed, they've eaten. So the amount of time you're really spending is actually more. The more they're having more interactions with their classmates, their teachers, and things like that. So I really wanted to influence that. And also the curriculum as well. That's kind of tied to the first reason. But you can actually just create a wholesome, more broad curriculum above what the school can offer. Interest as well. For example, now we are working on a garden. Not successfully, but we have been on and off working on a homeschool garden, a big family garden where we plant things, and it's an opportunity for him to learn work ethic and things like that, and to just play in on the out in nature basically. So I really want to incorporate a lot of those kind of things where he's learning things that are outside the classroom as well, so just to make a very interesting childhood, to be honest with you. I mean, I don't think life should be really peg hold into a particular way. I've always been someone who likes to do things differently. That's just to summarize it. I am very comfortable being the odd one out, and I don't have a problem with that whatsoever. So yeah, I want him to have a different experience, and so I see all the good in doing this. Okay, second, how long do I plan to homeschool? Now, so I'm also someone that likes to plan in short bursts, because homeschooling can be overwhelming. I was actually quite scared when I first thought of starting, and I had my first kid. I was like, okay, this is actually a lot of work. I mean, you still have house stuff to do, you still have to take care of the kid, you still have to it's a lot, and then I have to add homeschooling. So I was really scared, and also I was worried that will I be able to actually teach him, for him to understand and for him to learn and be at par with his needs. So all of those fears came into play. But then I was like, okay, quick, relax. You could just do nursery school. Let's just start with nursery school. Let's get through nursery school. And then if you're seeing that, okay, this is not working out, we can always put him back in school to start primary if you're not confident to do primary, right? So now that I've done nursery school, he's in kindergarten. So after he's going to enter, unless my first child is going to enter primary 1 by next year. So now that I have done majority of the nursery school, I feel more confident, and I'm definitely going to go forward with primary. So for sure, we are going to do primary. So that's where I am right now. That's how long I am confident taking this homeschooling journey to primary. We don't know about secondary just yet. So now, how has it been? Homeschooling has been challenging. I mean, if you're someone that struggles with patience, you need to work on that before you start homeschooling, because you will be tried. There are some days you ask yourself, why on earth why am I doing this? Like, do I just like pain? Right? So there are some days that you really question yourself. I know I'm sweating badly. I didn't want to on the fan because of the sound. Yeah, and this mic picks up everything. I'm sure you can hear my kids yelling at the background. But anyways, so yes, where was I? Yes, how has it been? It has been hard. But then it has also been very, very fulfilling. I mean, there's this joy when you teach your child something and he figures it out. It kind of happened today, and I'm like, he got it. Like mathematics, I've been trying to teach him, a math thought process, with mathematics. Once you get this, you can get this and get. So anyway, he had gotten. I'm like, oh my gosh. I was so happy. We basically hugged each other and jumped around. Yay! So those are the small wins that really make it very fulfilling. And so yes, there are the up days and then there are the down days when you're just not in the mood. And also, of course, there are the days where you're like, you have things that you need to do, and then there's homeschooling. And like, so it kind of ties you down, and you're able to do some things that you like to do, e.g. YouTube. So things like that. So this struggle is there. There's some days I'm like, why am I doing this? And there's some days like, I am doing this up to secondary school. Like, I am so convinced. Right? So, but then it's just good to remember why you're doing it and the value and the investment that it is. It's actually an investment into their future. It's an investment into their lives and the relationship as well. And one of the beautiful things about homeschooling, that it definitely creates a closer and tighter bond with your children. So yeah, so you just see all the different sides of it. So it has been good. I plan to continue because I've not had enough, clearly. So I'm also homeschooling my second child as well. He's just 2 years old, so we are kind of very fluid with his own homeschooling, but we're getting serious, and because he's able to like sit down and he's really pushing it, so he's getting so anyway, I started his homeschooling and it's going great as well. Actually, it's even easier to homeschool him than it was to homeschool the first one, because somehow he has picked up everything from his older brother and he's learning faster. So it's definitely easier, and that's what I've heard a lot of times. The second child is actually easier than the first child to homeschool. So we thank God for that. So that is about homeschooling and all that. So now the next video is going to be what I use for homeschooling. So for those of you that are interested in knowing what resources do I use, how do I go about it, what books do I use, what is my system, basically this is for nursery. I just know for nursery because my oldest child is 4 years old and all we have done so far is nursery school. So I'm just going to share a bit about that in the next video. So yes, also I also wanted to add, I'm going to share it in the next video as well. A lot of the resources I'm going to be sharing in the next video are from my website. So I also have a homeschool resource business where I sell books, textbooks, learning materials, everything that you need to basically start homeschooling your children and teaching your children. I have it on my website. I'm going to put a link here, and I'm also going to share more about that in the next video. So you're going to see all the resources that we have. Even if you're not even homeschooling your children and you want to really boost their education and their learning at home, so these resources are very, very, very important and very, very useful. So I'm going to share more about that. But if you just want to go ahead and check it out before that video comes out, you can check out the link in my description and support the hustle. Thank you. See you in the next video. Bye.